Welcome to the GCN Tech Show.
Loads of hot tech this week. We've got turbans, we've got tyres, we've got new wheels, we've got pedals banned by the UCI, we've got the world's lightest power meter pedals, and a recall by SRAM.
Plus, we're discussing you should stop wasting your money. We're talking about upgrades that you don't need and shouldn't get.
Fantastic. Okay, right, for the main talking point this week, I kind of wanted to discuss something based off of your video that went out last week all about weight loss. Because I picked up on a phrase that you spoke, and you said you can't out-train a bad diet. Is that right?
Yeah.
Now, I want to take that principle and apply it to bike tech, and I'm going to say you can't buy your way out of not being very fit.
It's disappointing, isn't it?
It is very disappointing. I feel like you kind of also proved that at the weekend with our average rider, Phil.
Yeah, on the time trial bike, he was actually slower.
How'd you brake?
Yeah, so that's a £15,000 bike compared to a £450 bike.
Yeah, and he was quicker on a top of the range All-Bayer Orca, a 10 gram bike compared to a 500 quid bike, but not by much. Not by loads.
So technically you could buy a little bit of speed, but I think the advantages to be made from improving you are far greater.
Yeah, and we get loads of questions from you guys regularly in the comments about upgrades. So typical, we'll get onto that, but we all know that person that's just mad for the upgrades.
Loads of my mates, to be fair.
So like the person who, despite having a really nice S-Works Tarmac SL7, and they'd only had it like 6 months, was front of the queue to upgrade it to an SL8. And I just think an upgrade like that is unnecessary.
Well, I've got that exact example that you just said. One of my mates, George, SL7, he's like, what can I upgrade to make it better? I'm like, well, you've already kind of got the best thing. It's got 11-speed durace. Do you need 12-speed? Probably not. It's not going to change your life, is it?
Yeah, I think, we often get asked other questions as well, so it might not be as ridiculous as that. But it's like, I've got 11-speed 105 mechanical. Should I upgrade it to
the electronic version or something?
Yeah, Ultegra.
Yeah.
Or should I go Ultegra mechanical to Ultegra Di2? Things like that, and then also questions about wheels and other such things. But in most instances, I feel the answer is no.
Yeah, I kind of want to agree with you, but I love bike upgrades.
Well, yeah, but where I would describe it to people is it's a lot like iPhones. So when the new iPhone comes out, it's always better than the one before it. But the difference between, say, one model to the next is often pretty small. But then the difference between say, an iPhone from 10 years ago and the current one, it's massive. Massive difference there.
That makes sense.
But I just feel that a lot of the time people are too quick to upgrade and they should be focusing on other things, especially when the difference isn't that much.
So what are the things that you think people should be focusing on before upgrades?
I think the first thing is a lot of parts on a bike are consumable parts that wear out. So I would say don't replace something like that until it's worn out. Use it, and when it's worn out,
that's like the perfect time to upgrade. Get the most out of it first.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, now that makes sense.
There's loads of parts on a bike that are like that. And the other thing I would suggest is just kind of, let's play a game of would you rather and play along at home. Would you rather, right?
You've really thrown me with this.
Would you rather have a bike with 105 and have a week's holiday riding in the Alps in your dream location, or have a bike with Ultegra Di2 on it and just ride at home? I mean, if you live in this example...
Well, I mean, if you live in the Alps already?
In this example, you live in Swindon. You don't live in the Alps already.
Yeah, I mean, the sensible option is to have 105 and go for the cycling experience, surely.
Yeah, well, but I think so as well. But a lot of people don't always think like that. And I think they're too quick to spend a load of money on a material thing that they feel that they think they need. But I think really the thing that you get more happiness from and more enjoyment
is the event and the activity. Yeah, I think if people are perhaps got into cycling, they've got their first bike, maybe looking at doing their first event or activity, big trip away, it feels like lots of people jump the gun and go, I'm going to do this, I need to have the bike for it. But really you should focus on you, because the experience is the most important thing.
Yeah.
But, okay, so what are some of the areas that we think would be good areas to invest and perhaps upgrade rather than feeling like you're just wasting your money away?
The first thing I'd say is saddles.
Yeah.
Because if your bike's uncomfortable and your saddle's the main source of discomfort often, that just makes your whole ride totally unenjoyable. So you're probably going to change your saddle even if it's not broken to get one that's right for you. That's a common thing. And it can be quite a good area to, in a cost-effective way, reduce the weight of your bike. You know, an entry-level saddle versus a more expensive one, you can easily save 100,
Yeah, but you don't
grams.
even need to really spend loads of money. I think the upgrade could also be just getting that it's the right shape for you as well. That's an effective upgrade. It's going to improve the comfort you've got.
Yeah, but there's also, we've said this before, a good thing is actually look for saddles being sold online on second-hand websites, marketplaces and stuff, because a lot of very new saddles get sold because when people first buy the bike, it comes with a saddle that they know isn't right for them and they instantly swap it and then sell it.
That's back before companies allowed you to actually try a saddle out before committing to buy it.
Yeah.
That's a good thing that people do that now.
Yeah.
Tyres is one that I want to throw into the mix.
Well, before we get on that, I think we need to go through the contact points. So bar and stem, again, it's contact points. So I think, I said this in a recent video, not everyone seemed to agree with it. I don't know why. Get a bike fit. Get a bike fit. Especially before you buy a really expensive bike.
It kind of makes sense, right?
Yeah, but then those contact points are worth sort of adjusting the stem and the bars. However, in terms of trying to upgrade them for weight saving, I don't think going from carbon to going from aluminium to carbon is a good kind of cost-effective place to do that, because the difference in price between aluminium bars and stem to carbon ones is huge. It's like,
don't rush out and buy the $1,500 Envy handlebar.
Well, it's double the weight if you can afford it. Go for it.
Feel free.
But if it's typically double the price, maybe more, and and the weight is only slightly less. You're not generally talking about a huge weight saving, and you can get the exact same shape with aluminium components.
Yeah, the shape and the size is by far the most important thing. Okay, so tyres is something I wanted to discuss. Now, we've spoken about tyres countless times over in order to upgrade your bike to make it faster. But there is a really important point I want to mention here. A tyre setup which is faster is often also more comfortable too. And I think people often overlook that fact because it's a far more supple casings, therefore it's helping to make your bike more comfortable.
Yeah, maybe you just upgrade to bigger tyres.
Yeah, change up a size, or like you said, when the tyre's worn out, replace it for something that's maybe a step up or a little bit wider. Don't just replace it.
But even so, I think, if my bike came with perfectly functional tyres, I would still use them
first.
And when they've worn out and I've got some, the life out of them, then I would upgrade.
I think that's partly the reason why lots of new bikes come with slightly more cheaper tyres as well, because I think everyone's on the mindset of going, well, they're just going to get worn out and replace them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's always nuanced, and I think group sets is a really good one. It's very case dependent on you and the kind of riding you want to do, whether you should upgrade your group set. You might want to change your gears and put easier gears on, which would be a good thing to do. And the other thing is it depends on what you've got and where you're going. So mid-tier group sets are functionally excellent. Things like SRAM Rival and 105.
Group set people.
That level is so functionally good that you find that the function you get from going beyond that, really, in terms of the braking and the gear changing, it's not significantly
it's
better.
It's like diminishing returns.
It's a real diminishing return. They are better, but it's only slightly better. Slight weight saving. It's not huge. However, the difference going from, say, the entry-level group sets to the mid-tier is much bigger. So, I would say one of the most important things is having the adequate. If you're going to ride somewhere amazing, like in the mountains and the Alps or something, you want to have the right gears. That's a huge. Having the right gear ratios is huge, and also having really good brakes. And so, getting to that mid-tier level is really good, just to have the
It feels like the majority
confidence inspiring.
I feel like going entry level to mid tier, the majority of your money is going on increasing the functionality and making a big improvement to you. If you go above that to top tier, the majority of your money is going into making it really fancy and lightweight, which isn't probably helping you out that much.
We've quantified it. When you look at the difference of a kilogram on Alpe d'Huez, we've modelled this several times, and it's typically less than 5 watts So if you can pedal 5 watts harder and get 5 watts quicker, that's going to make more difference to your time on outdoors than spending thousands reducing the weight of your bike by a kilo, which is what it typically costs. Once you get from, say, that mid-tier level to go a kilo lighter, it is typically thousands you're going to be spending.
But that's kind of just really highlighting the point of what we've just been talking about, really.
Yeah.
So if you do want to do Grand Fondos and Sportives and the likes of that, so you really want to focus on sort of comfort, low rolling resistance, and trying to slightly reduce the weight of your bike a bit. You don't want to be carrying extra stuff, do you?
Yeah.
But what about if you want to go on big, epic adventures?
Well, that's the thing. You know, if you're an endurance rider or just someone who wants to go ride, in the mountains and you're not bothered about performance, then again, you need to look at it from a completely different perspective. But the good thing is you can actually spend a lot less money on your setup because you don't have to be super lightweight. It's generally a lot...
Durability.
Durable components are often a lot more cost effective.
It makes perfect
and they last
sense.
longer. So I would be focusing more on durability, especially with, puncture resistance on tyres and things that have to be super light. But
okay, so I feel like we've kind of covered off most of what I wanted to talk about with this. Yeah?
Yeah.
So really, don't rush to the bike shop and try and max out your credit card. Stand and take a cold, long look at yourself in the mirror and go, it's all down to me. Yeah?
A lot of it is, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let us know your thoughts on it in the comments section down below. It's now time for hot and spicy tech. First thing, turbans. Right, there's been a new study conducted into how turbans compare to bike helmets in the event of an accident.
Yes, this has been carried out by researchers at Imperial College London and the Sikh Scientists Network, who, I've checked, is a YouTube channel, and they currently have 6 subscribers. Now they have 7. There you go. Now they've been using crash test dummies, in all seriousness, to look at the safety of a turban on a bike, and they found that, and they've used various different turban styles. That actually wearing a turban is safer than not wearing a helmet.
Which is that surprises me, basically.
Yes, although the latest, most sophisticated helmets do offer more protection than a turban, but they suggested that you could actually put some padding inside your turban and wrap your turban in a particular way, and that will offer greater protection.
So I've got some information here. The study says it looked at 5 different types of turban using amounts of material in the Dastar and Damala turban styles and was subject to a variety of different tests. Now, here we've got researchers have found that turbans universally offered significantly better protection than the bare head against skull fractures in cycling crashes, right? But get this, compared to helmets for rotational injuries, turbans were in some cases found to be comparable to bike helmets, and 2 styles produced better than average results of a bike helmet.
It's quite cool because basically the turban offers like a sort of slip plane technology because the fabric can presumably slide against other layers of fabric, which is good news for Sikhs. The more people cycling, the better. And well, the reason why you might be, for people who are non-Sikhs who are watching this, they might not realise that Sikhs wouldn't wear a bicycle helmet because of their faith. They would wear a turban. So there's actually a law in the United Kingdom that's been in place since 1976.
Yeah, I've got it here. It's the Motorcycle Crash Helmets Religious Exemption Act.
Yeah, which is basically that in the UK it is the legal requirement that you have to wear a motorcycle helmet, except if you're a Sikh, in which case you don't.
Okay, right. Next up in Hot Tech, we've got some news from Wahoo and Zwift. So seeing as Wahoo and Zwift are now friends again, they've just launched, get this, the Kicker Core Zwift 1. I think we can probably guess where they're going with this. Essentially, it's bringing together like virtual shifting and the Zwift cog, which is that single sprocket, and the Kicker Core. And then it's going to replace the Zwift Hub 1, bringing in some extra benefits like power accuracy and compatibility with things like the Wahoo Climb and the Wahoo ecosystem.
It's got good compatibility with different bikes as well.
Yeah, this is like, so this was kind of like one of the core things that Zwift were trying to say.
Core.
That was slick, that, wasn't it? They're trying to make it really easy to get people to just be able to ride on the platform of Zwift without all this compatibility issue of cassettes and stuff like that. So The Wahoo Kicker Core Zwift 1 is going to be available to buy in the United States, the United Kingdom, and Europe for $599, £549 or €599, but it also includes a year's membership of Zwift, which I think is pretty cool.
That's pretty good.
It's also going to be available for Australia and Canada for the first time ever. And if you've got, let me just get this right, the Kicker Core Zwift. No, if you've got the Kicker Core original one, you can upgrade to the virtual shifting by getting the Zwift Play buttons.
Nice.
There you go. What's next in hot tech? Vittoria.
Well,
TT
new tyres. Yes.
Okay.
So we actually saw these tyres at the Giro d'Italia last year, so a long time ago, and they were used at the Tour by the Vittoria-sponsored teams on their TT bikes. So when you've seen the likes of Jumbo, Visma Lease bike, winning time trials last year, it was on these tyres, which are said to be 5% faster and 2% lighter than the previous Vittoria Corsa Speed, which is their TT tyre.
Yeah.
But yeah, they were using these in secret.
Not secret anymore, is it?
No, but these tyres are now going to be available in 24 millimeters, 26 millimeters, and 28 millimeters, tubeless, and they have the nice tan sidewalls.
28mm version is hookless compatible. Just for the people out there that like hookless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crucial bit, price, €95, $99, and the weights are from 225 grams up to 250 grams.
Yeah. Not for everyday use, though. Yeah.
Not a functional piece of bike upgrade.
No, but if for time trialists...
Yeah. Now, last week we spoke about some new wheels from Campagnolo. This week we're talking about new wheels from Hunt, which also actually launched last week, but we're a week late to the party. But never mind, whatever. So it's the sub 50 limitless aero disc wheel, where Hunt have set out to create what they call the absolute fastest all-round road race wheel set, up to and including 50 millimeters of depth for both 30 millimeters and 28 millimeter tyres.
Okay.
So previously they had this, the award-winning 48 limitless wheel. So now they've made upgrades to reduce the weight of it and try and improve the aero. So you've got 3 different versions available here, all using exactly the same rims and rim profiles. Mm-hmm. So what I've done here is gone like super wide for the front rim, different profile front and rear. And then the 3 options, essentially you're choosing between whether you have carbon spokes and ceramic bearings, or normal bearings and carbon spokes, or normal bearings and normal spokes.
Okay.
And
what's the lightest? 1380 grams?
Obviously the most expensive setup. So, it's almost as if you knew. 1380 grams.
Oh, good at guessing.
Yeah. So the key thing here is their wide internal rim width, but also the external width of the rim is very wide. So 34.2 millimeters wide externally for the front wheel, which is that's really bonkers.
Wide. It's getting wider and wider and wider.
You're basically going to be running mountain bike tyres on the road soon. Fat tyres are faster. 18 spokes front, 20 rear, a new ratchet hub. Pricing for the carbon spoke ceramic boys, £2,289. And if you go for the normal bearings, normal spokes, £1,479.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. All right.
Some pedals were lighting up social media last week.
This is hilarious, the story behind this.
Yeah. So Ikoi, French brand, they had this new pedal which was spotted. There were stories over on the globalcyclingnetwork.com news website.
You should probably go check it out.
And they had a really intriguing design. They have a very wide-looking platform. They were spied being used by the Nice Metropole team. They're called the PW8, and they're said to have a sort of significant watt advantage, according to Ikoi.
An 8-watt savings I've seen thrown around.
That's what's been thrown around. And part of that is down to the fact that they have a special cleat design and a very low stack, apparently lower than any pedal before.
8mm, I think.
Which is cool because we've spoken about this before with regards to different pedal systems, and Wahoo Speed Plays are very good for this. They have a lower stack, which means you're closer to the pedal axle, but it also just means that you can have your saddle a little bit lower too. And that makes your whole body a little bit more aero and close to the ground. Anyway, before the Nice Metropole team could embrace and fully realise the potential devastating effects of this 8-watt saving in the races that they were doing, the UCI stepped in.
The fun police Killed the fun.
And banned them. So yeah, they had to, apparently there was a crazy situation where they were scrabbling around. They had to not only get new pedals to use at the last minute before
shoes as well,
race, but also shoes, yeah.
Because it uses a new interface.
Yeah.
I feel like this just highlighted a flaw in the system here.
Well, maybe not, but I'm sure we don't know why, but I'm sure the UCI had a good reason. There is part of it can be a safety thing. Equipment has to be certified.
I've got the reason here for it. So they found out an hour before the start. So in 1 hour they had to find new pedals and shoes for the entire race team. Not an easy thing to do, but it was a technical paperwork issue that was the problem. So Ecoy had submitted the paperwork to the UCI and they're like, cool, job done, just use our pedals, guys. The UCI were like, no, we haven't approved your paperwork. Get them off your bikes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talking of pedals, actually, more pedal tech next. I've got these bad boys here in the box. So these are from a company called Petro Cleats and they've sent us in some of the pedals.
They've got a Spartan, a hoplite on the box.
That's the box. There you go, you can see that.
Cool.
Interesting kind of design here. So it's like a mid-foot cleat position here.
Right.
But the bold call that this pedal company is making is that they now have the world's lightest power meter pedal. These ones here are not actually the power meter pedal version. I don't want to disappoint you, sorry.
Oh.
But the way that the power meter pedal works is that you've got this sort of super lightweight body and then you buy the Asioma for Vero axle kit, and that way you can upgrade.
Modify your pedals into power pedals.
Yeah.
And these are you can see it's 3D printed.
Yeah, it's like a 3D printed design. I've got some of the information here, of course. It's the TT24 pedals. Total stack height 9mm, including cleats. Total system weight 286 grams, including cleats. And basically, if you buy the body kit, you then just buy the axles to upgrade them to power meters. These boys, $159. If you want to just buy the bodies, it's $94. But then you've got to obviously splash out for the power meter pedal axles. That's a cleat, which is wild. What's your feelings on that? Quite radical design?
Yeah, it is an interesting design. Although the mid-foot cleat thing intrigues me. I know some people who have benefited that, who've had knee issues and such alike, but personally, I think I'm always a fan of having...
Well, it's an option that's out there for people that maybe want to get behind that idea, I guess, and feel that it helps their cycling.
Cool.
All right.
We also have the SRAM recall.
Oh, yeah. So this is kind of like an evolution, right, of what was we spoke about a little while back. So SRAM have now officially communicated a recall on all aftermarket access levers sold before 1st of July 2023. So that's affecting Red Force, Rival, Apex.
And what's the reason for it?
It's to do with the bolt which clamps the lever body onto the handlebar. It's a significant part, right?
Yeah.
So they're saying that consumers should immediately stop using the recalled SRAM shift brake levers and inspect them for their tightness. It's to do with the clamp bolts. And even if they're torqued correctly, they might not clamp the handlebar correctly. If you're unsure, head down to your local bike shop, which is an authorised SRAM dealer. They'll check it and replace it for free.
Nice.
Job
More
done.
hot tech next week.
Cool.
Time now for comments of the week. Your comments from last week.
Shall I read them out?
Go for it.
It's from the show. Jed1 MSTR, Jedi Master, I'm assuming.
Oh, nice.
Would have saying, I would have loved to have seen a more in-depth Campagnolo inside story. There's so many legacy companies that should have gotten the same documentary treatment we got for Canyon, Colnago, Trek, Orbea, Pinarello and Rafa. We're missing Campagnolo, Bianchi, SRAM, Park Tools, Silker, etc. Well, I say it's a shame about GCN Plus, but good thing is, I mentioned this last week, I filmed a YouTube video all about the innovations and history of Campagnolo, so check it out.
Yeah, we have another video as well that I did a good few years ago now, so you might not have seen it, which was the story of Giulio Campagnolo and how he came to devise the quick release.
You know why people might not have seen it? Because they haven't subscribed.
There you
Subscribe, guys. It's a sensible thing to do.
It's called How Hard Did Cycling Used to Be?
I actually seen some of that. That's a really cool video. Yeah. Well done.
The next comment is from the Citizen49, who says, I'm a 70-year-old functionally obsolete old person on a bicycle, and I own a 2002 Colnago Master Light with Campagnolo 9-speed, a 2007 independent fabrication with Campagnolo triple 10-speed, and a 2016 Surly long-haul trucker with Campy 11-speed. My Campagnolo group sets will still be in service for many years down the road. That's good to know.
Oh, I'm pleased to hear that.
Yeah.
It's true, actually. That's part of what we were speaking about.
A lot of love under last week's tech show about Campagnolo.
Right, underneath the weekend video, which I'm going to say was more of a success than I anticipated when I tried to make a wind-powered little mini generator for my bike. A kind of like throwaway thought that some people would have, but I turned it into a video.
There you go.
Right. Ed.R says, there's nothing wrong with hub dynamos. I still use them on my bikes to power the automatic shifting and backup lights. They generate some actual useful power, like up to 5 watts. Yeah, still an interesting and fun idea and fun experiment with that little wind turbine. Yeah, I have the same thought.
I'm a big fan of dynamos. It's that thing of...
Are you really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's a great piece of functional tech.
All right.
Not if you're going to ride the Tour de France. You're not going to have a dynamo on your bike, are you? But like... as an upgrade, that's an upgrade that if you are, going to be doing endurance things and you need power on the bike, incredibly functional, incredibly useful. It's actually a good upgrade to get.
It's actually something that we haven't spoken about loads on like GCN Tech, and perhaps something that we could look into a little bit more in the future because it is functional.
Yeah.
Dr_AI says, this is perhaps the best GCN video ever. Great work, Alex. I don't want to be rude, but I'm inclined to disagree with that.
Yeah. You've done some better ones than that.
I'm going to say it's not the best GCN video ever.
Yeah.
But it was fun.
How much speed can you buy?
Yeah.
The video that we did with Phil. Only jumped on a time trial bike for the first time ever. He's sort of beginner cyclist.
Fair play, Phil.
Matthew Normand said, make the Boardman bike in that video faster than the Orbea on the cheap. That's a bold plan. I'd like to see it in action. That's something I said we'd do. I think we can upgrade that Boardman and make it really quick.
Not specifically just to make it faster than an Orbea, though.
No, but I think we can, make it.
We can rival the performance of top spec bikes, I reckon.
For a very for a fraction of the price. That's the challenge I'm going to set myself. So make sure you subscribe because we'll be doing that in the future.
Yeah. Next comment from Rome
and Curry.
I know he said Rome and Curry. Great video. Basically, you can buy quite a bit of speed. Kudos to Phil. It's a great benchmark to have a genuine normal cyclist doing these tests, as it shows what's applicable to the typical weekend cyclist.
Yeah, I'm glad you can see that because that's that was what I wanted to achieve by doing it with Phil.
Oh,
so yeah, it's good.
Mission
glad
achieved.
people liked it.
Right, it's now time for the bike vault.
You got the bell?
I've got the bell. It's important. We need to update people. People are still unsure about how to submit their bikes. Okay. Can you do a run through for us, please?
Okay. So this is the bike vault where we rate your bikes either nice or super nice. And if you want to submit your bikes so that they can be rated, then you need to go via the uploader.
Yeah.
Now, our link to the uploader is in the description below, down there. So just click in there. You'll click on the link, it'll take you there, and then just follow the steps.
We've also got an actual written article on the Global Cycling Network website to make it super clear for you, which is cool. This week, anti-disc brake special. Why? Just because I decided I want to do that.
Okay.
First, Marcelo with a Trek 730 multi-track. What are you feeling?
Well, I like that. Do you know what? He's in Sao Paulo.
I didn't know that,
cool, yeah.
Could you tell that from the grass?
I mean, that could just be like the fields outside my mum's house in Doncaster.
Yeah.
To be honest, from that picture.
Well, it's a mountain bike, but I feel like let's just be polite and cheerful.
Do you know what? I'm going to go nice just because he needs to clean his chain and cassette.
All right.
And it's not in Biggie Big.
Yeah.
But otherwise, that could have been a super nice.
Legit bike.
If it's in Biggie Smalls and he cleaned it a bit better on the drivetrain, he needs to get some degreaser on there. Next up is Alan with a Merida Sculptura 904. And he's in Auckland in New Zealand. What do you make of that?
I like this. It's a shame I don't like how it's positioned against the little mini wall because I think there's a risk of damaging it.
There is, yeah.
But valves are aligned.
I like his matchy Rafa bottles that match with the the sort of paint job on the bike.
Yeah.
I'm going. Yeah, do you know,
I'm inclined to supernice this.
Supernice that one, yeah.
Yeah?
Nice.
Joseph next from NYC.
That's, yeah.
What is
With
this?
a Nobilette custom steel bike.
Oh, look, it's got Campag on it, just talking about it again.
Yeah. I think we can supernice that one.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Not much seat post poking out of it.
Also, he says it's New York, but it's
Could be anywhere.
It's that bit in the Matrix where they get the guns before they go into the Matrix. That's what it looks like. Where he's
super nice.
Yeah.
Dundee, Klein Quantum Race.
Is it Mick Dundee?
No, don't think it is.
I hope it is. Klein Quantum Race, and he's in Berlin.
Says he fell in love with this bike despite it being too large a frame.
I like the way he's taking a picture of his bike, but also he's kind of like...
Here's all my accessories.
Yeah, here's all my stuff. Oh, it's like sort of a show and tell thing. Do you know what? Those, yeah. I'm just looking at the wheels.
Are they like the Shimao ones?
They are, but he's got some like logo on them. I'm trying to zoom in there. What is that? Yeah, there's Hondas. Super nice. Easy.
Super nice. Marty next with a 2021 Specialized Alley.
In Changi Beach, Singapore.
I mean, Tanwall Tyres are doing it for me. The little gold logo on Specialized on Downtube is doing it. 105 as well, groups of other people.
Yeah, he says he's lost 23 kilos cycling as well.
Fair play.
Super nice.
Yeah, and that's without watching your video.
Be nothing left of him now if he watches it.
Simon next with a Cinelli Experience Speciale. Is that how you'd say it? Speciale?
Yeah, go
Speciale.
It's just like me sat next to Alan.
Yeah. You didn't know I was part Italian, did you?
Well, this is apparently in California.
Why do you not believe anybody?
If you're in California, I want the Hollywood sign in the background.
Okay. Brown saddle. Yeah, I can get on board with that. It's actually well presented though, no?
Yeah, it is. I'm the brown saddle. I feel like it should have brown bar tape.
But this is what everyone said when I put the brown saddle on my Trek Madone.
Yeah.
Sai absolutely slated me for it.
Yeah,
I'm still traumatised by that.
Why, it's so nice.
Oh, if it was just me, it would be a super nice.
A lot of trauma from that Trek Madone, wasn't there?
Yeah, a lot.
A lot of trauma.
It's tucked away in my loft, safe. I'm gonna get that bike back out when the weather cheers up.
What about, you got any more Dura-Ace chain sets like that?
Loads of them, cupboard full.
Next one, Jada with a Bianchi Ultra XR2 in the Czech rep. Oh yeah, come on.
Yeah, that was blooming cool.
It's like a Campagnolo special this week.
I actually spent way too much time in the bike vault picking all these bikes out, and I probably should admit to.
Is there a shadow stand there?
I'm
trying to look.
Can't see.
Well, it's a shadow stand, so how would you
know?
Super
nice. Is that it?
Yeah.
That's it for this week's Bike Vault, which means this week's tech show is coming to a close. Well, I don't really have much to say. It's been a blast, mate. Thanks.
Yeah. Hope you've enjoyed the show. And yeah, if you want to see some videos about the history of Campagnolo,
yeah,
we've got them.
Hit us up.
Yeah. See you in the next one.
See you later.
Bye.